1984, the year that I was part of creating Act 3 as a professional theatre company, making work for children. It all started with just 3 people who wanted to do theatre for children and wanted to do it well. We had very little resources. We had only ourselves, our own creativity, and our belief that it would work. There was no visibility study. Everything was about a desire to do. Sitting here in 2024, 40 years later, I count myself very blessed, absolutely privileged to be working in the arts for the past 4 decades and growing it from moment to moment, step by step. The first decade was about self-discovery. There were no processes. There was nothing to talk about professional theatre in Singapore, meaning making a living from making theatre, let alone making theatre for young audiences. So it was really a journey of self-discovery, navigating the tide, challenging on the upstream, and literally creating and inventing and being very organic about the way we made work under the banner name of Act 3. We chose Act 3, by the way, because there were just 3 of us, and if you understand the concept of acts in a play, Act 3 is kind of the middle part sometimes of a play, and there's always something going to happen next. And we didn't realize it. We just wanted a word that said to us straight away what it's about, act. And act, you usually relate it to stage. So, and there were 3 of us. There was Chandran, me, and Jasmine. And we got together through a workshop and discovered each other. And we came together with one common desire, and that was to make theatre for children. In the first 10 years, we made loads of little performances going out to where people were, in the parks, in their homes. And in the 80s, it was also the beginning of an arts awareness from government, from ground up. And yet it was hard to get people paying for a ticket to come and see theatre. We had venues, but we could not encourage people to buy a ticket to come. Yet, by doing theatre and taking theatre out to where people were, most of the time free performances, it slowly grew the understanding that there was such a thing as making performance full-time. So our first 10 years was primarily focused on making performances for children, and we established slowly but surely our footing in children's theatre and became known as Singapore's first professional theatre company, primarily making performances for children. In the decade that followed, the second decade, our focus shifted to arts education because of government initiatives to promote the arts to a greater audience and to take the arts into schools. And so we were part of this wonderful wave to promote arts education and to get every child watching a play at least once a year. So we began creating a lot of productions that went beyond 30 minutes and created in theatre work as well. In that same decade, ourselves, we created Act 3 Drama Academy. In 1994, we put together a team of teachers, drama teachers, specializing in working with young people, put together a complete and structured syllabus for drama enrichment learning, and brought together consistent classes and workshops and programs for children aged 18 months to 15 years of age. Our third decade, my third decade, was really focused on presenting festivals. I had come back from a wonderful festival overseas in France, and I was so taken by the quality of artistic work created for young audiences. I've never seen the level of creativity, the counter-intuitiveness in making theatre for children, like really pushing borders and making work that really forces imagining to go in different places. And so I came back with just this one idea: let's do a children's festival. And so in the year 2000, we launched our very own children's festival called Children First. And we ran it for 10 years with very good sponsorship from the private sector, and brought in acts that you would never imagine would really be created for young audiences from all over the world. And by all over the world, I mean from as far as Argentina to Japan. And it was a wonderful, wonderful journey for us involved in promoting and advocating quality artistic work for children and promoting theatre as an art form. Coming very close on the tailcoats of children's festivals, we went on to create a kite festival, primarily one as an excuse to bring people together because it was a big community affair which ran for 6 years, but mostly because we were interested in programming street theatre, and it was the one opportunity to bring artists of high-level skills in performing outdoors for public. And we promoted the Kite Festival for a good 6 years, and people came to fly kites, to watch theatre, eat ice cream, and if any of you remember, at the promontory in the middle of the city, our kiters who came never imagined that it could fly kites in the middle of skyscrapers. So in the past 10 years of my working life as a practitioner, as an artist, but mostly as a person who really loves theatre for children, it was building on what had happened in the past 30 years that came before, and drawing from the experiences from doing little shows in people's homes to performing in nice venues of today, and in running a center for children to come to for their drama fix. We're a lot in the schools. We like working in the schools. We like our space. And most of all, I think, to me personally, the the opportunity and the ability to use what I know and how I know how to do it in my work with children. And there's never an end to it. You're always learning from the new practitioners. You're always learning from other people who do work differently, because creativity knows no boundaries. And this is the essence, the very essence of doing the arts as a way of living. It's been a journey, 40 years. It doesn't feel that way. But if I were to write a journal, I would say just one sentence. I'm very lucky. I'm truly very, very lucky.